Belgium and Great Britain is up next.
There's so many maze, bro. I'm getting sick and tired of the maze already. Oh, shit. Okay, good job, Kai. And you too.
There's more than one.
Yeah, I guess that's how you deal with Mei on this map.
Yo, wait a minute, Kai.
Out the back line already a support down as well, and that Reinhardt going to be melted very quickly after with the storm, though. It is just so quick for Great Town, this squad. Funny Astro as well, another name that we haven't quite touched on as much, but another LA Gladiators player, right? And also played in another Overwatch World Cup in the past. So just so much experience, so much individual talent on this Great Britain team.
Yeah, and not a whole lot of heads-up forward thinking and quarter checking from Belgium, because they never saw that flank from Kai coming, and he's still just holding up here on this high ground, and they've opted not even to try and challenge him. They just want to try and take down Jakaru, but with all the healing being pumped into Jakaru, that is a tall, tall task.
Okay, both amplification matrix coming out means that Kai is going to be dealing a lot more damage just going through, but instead they've opted to just block it off with a Mei wall, try to teleport over here on this pass, and they're just unable to get anything done.
We'll crack a can of baked beans if Great Britain takes this dub. Ain't no fucking way, bro.
Dragon Strike online as well. You have that Funny Astro has built up the sound barrier so incredibly quickly. If you look at Chaba, only 50% on the ultimate. It is just such chaos, but Great Britain is thriving through it.
Yeah, and Belgium doesn't really have an in here. Like, Logix is going to have the sim wall, and that's how they're going to try and open things up and try and build some positioning here.
Oh, come on, Jakaru. You're better than that, bro.
Something big that can just win the fight here, and especially when they've lost their entire DPS line, this fight is already over. Great Britain are just, like, they're playing with their food right now. They're taking candy from babies. What is this?
Damn, bro.
Yeah,
this looks easy.
And they're already pushing in their spawn, and typically this is not really something that you see in high-level play because they don't really want to risk letting someone backcap onto that point, but the confidence is there. They're going to go right ahead. The Sojourn has been brought out by Logix to try and counteract, give that little bit of carry potential here, but with the sound barrier, they're allowed to just make
just use your ult early. Use your ult early so they can't touch.
They're allowed to troll a little bit because they are so easily bailed out by this Blizzard, by the Amp Matrix.
I don't know. Oh, Funny Astro type C9. Damn, the shit talking, bro. The shit talking.
You were saying how, you know, you don't want to worry about
13 months and
the backpack coming through, but Great Britain, they don't even have to worry about it because they have everybody who could reasonably touch, that being pretty much only Chaba on the Lucio there, all corralled in the spawn there, and they just can't get out. They don't have to worry about that back cap because they just simply don't allow Belgium to exit their spawn doors. Can't touch the point if you can't play the game, such as the strategy that Great Britain has decided to bring here. And, you know, we're seeing a little bit of swap-ups here coming out. You know, Gardens tends to favor a little bit more of a dive style, so we're seeing Jakaru and Skytor try to reflect that. Ken gonna swap over onto the Echo. That's gonna be something we might want to keep an eye on here, but, I mean, if Control Center is anything to go off of, this is entirely Great Britain's match to win.
Oh yeah, Great Britain is just having
I want to see the Logix Tracer. Logix used to be a fucking good Tracer player, but I don't think he's ever played this game in a very long time.
I mean, it's an unconventional backline for sure, and against the Tracer Sombra, it's definitely going to be a hard one to. It's going to be hard to get away from these two DPSs. Skytor trying to go in for the dive, but there's just no support from the rest of the Belgium squad.
It's coming home, lads.
JKRU, and
shut up, bro.
Just,
go drink your fucking prime and fucking call it a day,
so
bro.
Here's the trouble when you're running an Echo Mercy, because that Mercy is going to be attached at the hip to the Echo at all times. So if Skytor wants to go aggressive, it's all onto Potanova to try and get the healing done. And if he's zoned off, if he can't LOS,
I just want to say, when I was in Iceland, all Unsalted Assault wanted to do was buy fucking prime.
Jakaru as well. Belgium, they
I
might have
tried that
finally
shit.
found
That
their
shit was sweet as hell. I couldn't get into it.
Echo Mercy
and I like
doing
sweet things.
Damage. Skytor has also found a pick onto the back line of Cronus's Ana. Just once again, that immobility getting to that support once again, and now they're able to capture that point.
Isn't it expensive? I don't know. Unsalted Assault bought it. I just drank it.
Well, when Great Britain is really focused on ground control, is really helpful. It seems to be what they prefer here.
Yeah, and when you're putting all of your eggs into that Echo Mercy basket, sometimes you have enough eggs to make an omelet, as Ken does there, but Skytor going really aggressive, gets low there. Great Britain want to try and focus that Winston down. Ken has to try and invest a duplicate just to get another monkey on the field, because theirs has already been dealt with. And this might be Great Britain coming through with the flip, but it is scrappy.
they're able to get those few picks to go through, and now with Ken down, you kind of have to worry about what Chaba's doing, where are they going to escape to, where the support's going to go, and that the answer is just right back to spawn. The flip comes through from Great Britain very quickly after that fight, and once again, these ultimates are being built up to very quickly. Kai did a big flip with the pulse bomb. I'm actually
really glad that Belgium is able to, like, you know, cap the point at least this time and actually put up a fight.
They don't really have access to a huge fight-winning ultimate. They're gonna have the Kitsune Rush, and that's a great initiation tool, but they're gonna walk right into Backbone's EMP, and if Great Britain's follow-up is there, that's gonna be a clean, easy fight win for Great Britain, so I'll have to see if Backbone pulls the trigger, and indeed he does, but Cronus falls early.
Yeah, Cronus going down before the sound barrier comes through could be a game changer for Belgium. They have to keep JKRU up somehow, but they're unable to. It's got to back up quite a bit because Funny Astro just doesn't have as much of that sustain. Now the pulse bomb
is he gonna pull a J3?
By Kai, though, might be able to answer
Is he gonna pull a J3?
The contention is still there. Kai just dashing around on the point, blinking around, trying to take down Chaba and trying to find the Mercy pocket.
Oh, Logix! Okay, he's not washed. Logix isn't washed, chat.
An opportunity to just trade back onto the DPS. Already to 95. Contention still there. This might be an overtime flip for Belgium. And now the duplicate force through once again. Ken going to transform into the Winston, a second tank onto the field to try and harass JKRU from regrouping with the rest of the team. Ken still on fire, just going to glide away very quickly, waiting for Chaba to come back. Chaba has switched on to Lucio though, and that means building up another ultimate while Kai already has the pulse bomb to come through, and Skytor is taken down now without a tank in play. It's going to be so much harder for Belgium to keep their hands on this
like
point.
Great Britain's gonna win, man.
Activated Logix attempting a blink and a recall. Pondonova also looking for the contest with the Suzu, and now the Doomfist from Skytor to get quickly back to point. It is just so back and forth. There's some desperation.
There's no way, chat. If Belgium flicks this and fucking wins this fight, I'll get the 100 subs right now. I'll get the 100 subs if they flip this and cap the and win the
it's all Great Britain in the kill feed. Yeah, it's all coming up for the 7 Lions here. That's going to be a nice, easy 2-0 there for Great Britain. Maybe Belgium knows something we don't, and they're able to find some value here. Or maybe we'll just have to spam chat with thank Mr. Logix once again.
I don't think Logix is the same as it used to be, probably.
Out here, and there's like a little bit of a buff there with the increase in ammo, but also you see that there has been a switch onto W Maimon, and as well on the other side, Shira as that tank on the Sigma here to try and get themselves a little bit of that stronger defense.
But it doesn't look to be like much of a defense right now. It looks like Belgium, they're just backing up. They've kind of just given up this entire Streets phase over here for free, like this first corner. Like, you typically want to hold a little bit further up with your Sigma so that your snipers have an angle, but the snipers are just holding their S key back and all the way up. You know, Great Britain, they're about to get this first corner here essentially for free without even having to spill any blood, but rest assured, there's going to be some blood to spill if Kai has anything to say about it.
Okay, Ken is able to find W Maimon, and Logix actually going to take down Kai. Battle of
Logix still has it in
Widowmakers,
him, bro.
Which is something you don't really see too much, but sure. And now they're just still holding the corner, waiting for their DPSs to come back into the game. Logix still holding this very long corner, and they don't really have a good way of kind of diving onto the Widowmaker. The Genji could do something here, but still haven't made the move.
Yeah, the problem here is, as long as we're both investing into this Widowmaker battle, it is going to be whichever Widow is getting the better of one another that's going to dictate which sight lines the other team can safely play in, but a nano boost onto Jakaru is going to make the entire point anything but safe for Belgium.
Funny Astro going down, so they're relying on Backbone to get those sight lines on, but it's just not going to work. Ken is able to take down quite a bit of damage onto that tank, taking out JKR from the fight, but the Primal Rage has been built up for the next one, and because of how pokey their comp is, they are just backing up all the way once again. It's just holding the S key and giving up that first checkpoint for free.
Yeah, it's a poke comp, and typically if you want to poke someone, you gotta keep them at arm's distance, but Belgium keeping Great Britain away with like a 10-foot pole right now won't let them get close, and that's totally fine, because Great Britain can just take all of this space for free. The site's gonna come out from Logix, and, you know, Great Britain might slow the pace down just a little bit here, but once Kai has those up, it's gonna be completely flipped and reversed, and once again, are we Belgium on the back foot? Gravitic Flux to open things up. Are they gonna find any pay dirt with it?
And the Gravitic Flux, it unfortunately doesn't find too much here. The Primal Rage does come out, though. J3 looking for a little bit more of that health sink. But, oh, what a shot from Logix. Kai just straight back onto the support.
He's him, chat. He's still him.
Are going to be at a little bit of standstill for the next fight. But Logix and Kai, they are just a gift that keeps on giving. But with the Widowmaker neutralized on Belgium's side, it does give Britain a little bit more of that room to push forward. But the Sigma is just contesting the point.
I mean, that shot onto J3 there from Logix was a discorded, amp-matrixed shot with a sonic arrow in him just for good measure. That was a great pick off there from Logix here, but it's Kai that's getting the better of this duel right now, and it's also forcing Logix and the rest of Belgium back.
Is basically Logix versus Kai.
If he keeps clicking heads, Great Britain can keep charging forward. Another big pick from Logix here, but it might be too late.
And there's the
oh my god!
Just
I don't even know how to say this guy's name, but he's disgusting!
Back. What is Logic going to do against the Genji that has 5 million dashes and also a sword that'll two-shot you? And even though there's the Widowmaker nerfs, you know, even with the Widowmaker nerfs, you're still seeing Widow battles is a little bit insane to me. But Belgium, I think they might have been a little bit too overconfident on the sniper comp, because Great Britain, they
I know who that is.
Sniper comp right
I know who that Genji player is, chat.
Doing it with only one sniper.
That's one of Assault Assault's alt accounts for DPS.
They want to try and open with a nano boost. By the way, this is the return of Boneback. I just realized we have Backbone on the support once again. We didn't think we'd see him again, but it is Boneback, the evil twin, making up an Ana, holding the nano, can put that onto J3 at any point in time and make life miserable for Logix, as Funny Astro seems to try and do right now with some of the wall rides. But while everyone's looking at the frog, no one was looking at the monkey, and J3 is in now.
Yeah, J3 has been allowed to take so much space, just weaving in and out of Sigma's shields with the Tesla cannon as well, and such an easy way to escape with the jump. They're trying to hold the high ground, trying to take control because of the prominence of the snipers in this composition, and there's a gravitic flux to take down Kai as well as Backbone, and without Backbone in the back line, Great Britain
wait, why did she fix herself? Graviton Surge, Gravitic Flux, it's the same thing,
forced to retreat a little bit further since Funny Astro doesn't quite have the sustain that they need. What?
He finds the kill at the okay, Funny Astro is known for his aggression, but even I for a second there was like, this is too aggressive for you, but Shira
I'm an idiot.
Able to dislodge the wall riding frog here. Funny Astro able to take out the enemy Sigma and even kind of force.
Does anyone know who that capture is actually?
Already contemplating making that diva swap here so they can try and counter
they play Overwatch, or are they in the Overwatch
the high ground a little bit better here, but it might be too little too late. Great Britain, they're really feeling themselves and starting to go for some ego plays, and they're still marching right on forward.
Attendees?
Yeah, they just really don't have the contention. Okay, slept Genji in spawn. That'll slow it down just a little bit. But they have that sound barrier, and they're just able to force forward and make the silly plays. You know, Funny Astro having a little laugh to himself. He's just hee-hee-ha-haing his team into their spawn. And now they've gotten so many picks as well. Logix in the backline on the Tracer. But Backbone isn't barely even phased, because the rest of the squad is just capping the payload, and they're almost right to the end. And it's all left up to Logix, who's just being harassed by the Tesla cannon. But since they are so close to the spawn, it's making it easier for Belgium to regroup. Great Britain might have to let this one go and wait for that next fight. Belgium, they might be able to hold on for a few seconds longer, but J3 popping the Primal Rage, so much more of a health sink now, and with the Doom Fist pick from Shira, are they going to be able to knock the Nunkey back? They do disengage off the back of this, but they are still trying to cap.
Yeah, it was very much a thank Mr. Logic's moment, as he did just enough to try and stop the bleeding a little bit, and he's come back on the Bastion, taking down J3, and once again, Belgium are doing just enough.
I thought Logix was going to be washed up, chat. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, but he actually is doing so well.
Into that fight.
I don't know if he's been playing off stream, off whatever.
It was a long one, it was a scrappy one, but definitely thank Mr. Logix for that one, because now we're under a minute. Great Britain, they're still looking to cap here, but Belgium might have finally found their footing.
Yeah, it seems like they are in a really good spot to hold on to this, especially since it's so close.
Where's Logix from?
And
was
they're on their way to that near strike
Logix
as
is
well.
from
Okay,
Belgium.
Shira in the back line. Kai, where are you gonna go on the back of this? I guess
so
just
aggressive.
going to go ahead and kill Shira. And now without a tank, they have to deal with the Logix now and just going to escape to the high ground. Kai getting healed up from the back line, but Ken, on the other hand, has the Dragon's Blade of his own and is able to find only one.
Don't C9.
Now down from Great Britain, but the rest of the squad is there to back up and avenge for the fallen teammate.
Logix was an old
Great Britain
Overwatch
completing
League
round
player.
1 with 17 seconds left over.
Yeah, the good news for Belgium is that they didn't end up falling with a 2-minute time bank. Like, that definitely could have been the case, save for some heroic plays. The bad news is still that Great Britain capped at all, and on Circuit Royale, that's not always guaranteed. So now Belgium have to try and match that if they want to keep themselves up in this fight, and potentially have a chance of winning this map here. And
17 seconds.
Not going to be easy.
That's doable.
Again, like I said, Belgium is living and dying.
It doesn't matter how much
by
time they cap with.
We're seeing Shira going
it doesn't matter if it's 0 seconds or 5 minutes.
You know, failing to win
it's a payload,
duels with an enemy Lucio. Granted, that
you
enemy
still
Lucio
push
is Funny Astro,
regardless
so
of
you
time.
get past there.
If it's a hybrid,
Funny Astro is just Funny Astro,
and you cap in 0 seconds, but the other team caps with over a minute,
being redundant,
you don't have another push, but the other team that has over a minute pushes.
On the Lucio there, and like, you know, I gotta believe that Belgium is going to be able to pull out something here. But Great Britain, I mean, if they just put enough pressure onto Logix where he can't get enough done on the Widow, force the swap, force some comp swaps out of Belgium, it might just spell disaster. It might spell the end of Belgium's run here in this game. Another quick 2-0 for Great Britain. It's just up to Logix.
Yeah, Logix is, I mean, he did have quite a few shining moments on the defense. On the attack, it might be a little bit more difficult having to fight for those positions with a Widow, Sigma, Zenyatta, Baptiste, Hanzo kind of comp. And Great Britain, they're holding so much further forward as well. They're not going to allow that free space, the free caps. And if Belgium had held further forward in that first fight, Great Britain might not have been able to complete round 1 with all 3 points here. Now they're having to fight up through the side house, but it's being contested by 3 players and backed right up with the Lucio of Funny Astro, just allowing to boop them back into the room, and then it's just so much free damage from that Genji.
It's all some of the most, the most mobile heroes here, so they have an opportunity to jump out, but that rock from Shira and the follow-up there from Chaba means that Jaykaru cannot get out, and with the Winston gone, now Belgium can start to trudge forward here. Yeah, you can see Backbone has to try and, head for the hills, and this is going to be that first stretch, being given up to Belgium, but again, we go back to Belgium's defense here. They are now working to take what Great Britain essentially took for free on their attack here. So now once Great Britain is able to set up, they can get Kai on this high ground here. There's still a lot of work to be done. That's a huge nade from Backbone. Not going to be a lot of follow-up, but that will slow things down just a little bit. Kai looking for a head, but Ken is not going to show his today. Jump up out of the way here. Cart's still moving. Great Britain, they're looking for a way in, a way to get Jaykaru onto that backline.
Went everywhere.
Yeah, they're able to cap this for free. It's going to be difficult for them to contest. Once again, the Widowmaker has to stand really far back here, but WMaimon is able to find one onto Ken, and that Genji is really the one that's going to be right up in their faces and forcing them back, especially those 2 DPSs that have been sent back to spawn here. Chaba, however, has been doing a lot of work for Belgium thus far, the Discord orbs, and doing a lot of damage, even for just Zenyatta, but WMaimon going to neutralize that. The Genji is such a good way to counter these really immobile backline picks.
You talk about how much damage Chaba is doing, but that's what this backline is, right? It's full poke, full damage, and it's finding a decent amount of value, but not enough to dislodge Kai, not enough to fully punish Jaykaru consistently, and not enough to stop the support from coming in from Backbone. Hey Kai, there's another free headshot for you. Logix never saw that one coming. There's an easy trade, and again, you have to try and find a way to shut down this Widow. A pick onto Backbone, though, that could be huge.
Now, the Transcendence being used in that situation, as well as the Immortality field to just try and counteract the damage that was going to come through. The Sound Barrier also used, but looking at the ultimates that are coming up, and now they have that Widow's ultimate coming through, so they can just see right through these walls, and it should allow Logix to get a good pick here, but Ken is actually the one that finds Funny Astro. Now a player down, missing that mid support, but oh my gosh, the Dragon Blade doesn't even find anything. And in the face of that, they've also put up the Immortality field, and it's given them that enough sustain for Shira to go ahead, use the Graphitic Flux, and force them so far back. And now with a few seconds left over, they're able to get that first checkpoint, which is going to give them 3 more minutes in the time bank to push into the second, while Shira continues to surge forward and try and force these players back.
And what a great shot from Ken here. And with that shot to shut down that Dragon Blade, now the hard part is done. Kai is going to swap off of the Widowmaker because he no longer has the favorable angle. Belgium, they can play this far up, and as long as the fight goes on this even ground, he's not going to be able to find much of anything. Meanwhile, Logix can still play the Widow to his heart's content, gonna take down W Maimon.
Wait, chat, I actually came up with a fucking 5-head strat.
Belgium, keep this cart inching ever closer there. That's another great shot from Ken onto Kai there. This might actually just be point B being capped here outright. A Storm Arrow kill onto Jaykaru. Why not, Ken? You're already cooking.
Yeah, Ken is definitely whipping up something in the kitchen, and now it's all left to Funny Astro. Another pick for Ken, and now they get that second checkpoint. It was just not even a struggle at all for them to get up that ramp and into this little building here. Now we're looking at Great Britain. They switched up their comps a lot. It's going to be back to that Widow... There was a little bit of struggle to get up that wall, but it was a little bit of that.
The one enemy Ken cannot overcome the wall. He takes the stairs. I have to admire that, but you know, he's able to get this high ground here, and Jaykaru wants to fight for it and dislodge him, but not able to, and they've lost Funny Astro again. Astro might be getting a little too big for his britches here, going too aggressive and getting punished for it.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like he's getting the support that he needs, especially needs the Winston to be right there with him in order to absorb some of that pressure. But now they're trying to use this Tracer. Oh my god, just immediately stunned by Shira's rock and just going to go down. Even though there's a sleep onto the tank here, it's going to be that bio nade that's going to really force Shira back a little bit. But still, Great Britain cannot get themselves in good position to defend this. They are just, it seems that they've really lost their stride.
Yeah, I mean, I have to be looking at Kai making that swap off the Widow over onto the Sombra and hasn't been able to build up to the EMP yet. Is going to have it now, and 2 early pickoffs. That is huge. Okay, Great Britain aren't even going to need to invest the EMP. They should be able to just win this fight outright with the cleanup, and now they'll have the EMP for the next fight, and that should be another fight win. I mean, Belgium's about to have 5 ultimates of their own. This next fight is looking to be a bloody one, but it's one that I think Great Britain might be favored in. It's got to be all up to Kai here. Going for an early hack there onto Shira, but gets sussed out. Is he going to be able to find anything here?
Yeah, now the Widowmaker has been completely switched off, and they're using that Amp Matrix as well as the Transcendence in response to only the Primal Rage and the Pulse Bomb from Great Britain's squad. But now they're able to take down Jaykaru with that little bit of extra sustain from those 2 supports. And Chaba, instead, after using Transcendence, has switched over to the Brigitte to try and help out the team right next to their spawn. Ken is allowed to just do a lot of free damage off after the tank has gone down, and they're just trying to weave around with the Tracer and the Sombra, but Kai has decided back to the Widowmaker they go, especially after Logic has switched. Don't have to get Widowmaker diffed this time around as they push into the final point.
There was a moment in time there where I could see that Kai wanted to use the EMP, but the Transcendence came out and it was just too costly to do it, and by the time it would have been beneficial, everyone else from Great Britain is dead, so Kai just yeeted that one in there. Gonna go ahead and make the swap here, but it might be too little too late.
Before the fucking bubble went. Oh my god,
comes out. The headshots are coming out from Ken. Belgium are going to cap this point here. Ken is going absolutely nutty right now.
Oh my god.
Ken just went crazy in that last fight, and I'm pretty sure he was on fire for that entire last checkpoint, and it was largely due to Ken as well that they were able to even just force their way through that second checkpoint.
I want Belgium to win this.
Even a little bit of a hitch. And Great Britain, you can see why Belgium picked this map. Great Britain, we saw them on the attack and we thought, why are they letting them capture it for free? But even though Great Britain was in their faces and trying to contest every little bit of space that they could, while Belgium was more looking to kite back and keep them at an arm's length, Belgium still end up with a larger time sink.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes back to that Sombra swap from Kai. I don't think it paid enough dividends. It took him too long to build the EMP. The synchronization wasn't quite there. You know, he would try and go for a hack, and either it wouldn't come through. He'd get, you know, the hack canceled.
Chat. I'm coming up with a great idea here, bro. I'm just gonna shoot my shot, see if this happens. Okay? So I tweeted, if there's any coaches, players, etc. that's in the Overwatch World Cup that wants to be on stream co-hosting with me while their team plays, DM me. Or even the players after the matches that want to talk for a few minutes for an interview. Also, if there's any Overwatch League players that want to co-host, let me know as well. Look at that. Boom. 5-head strat right there. I'm not going to get Dona walled, bro.
A pretty decent defense here because
I've never been Dona walled once in my life.
The time bank is in favor of Belgium right now, which is not something I thought was going to happen when I saw, you know, how slow their... or how rough their defense was, but that attack was just something special.
Yeah, and Kai on this Widowmaker has to contend with 2 snipers, and Logic already taking down W Maimon, and you can see that the Genji isn't putting enough pressure, but oh my goodness, what a shot from Kai to take down Logix, and now they're missing quite a chunk of that long-range damage, and they're going to have to back up a little bit since Kai is allowed to ring out for free here. Now looking for the pick onto Chaba, finds it, the Zenyatta now out, and no more of those Discord orbs for that extra damage that they have left over. Logic comes back as Tracer, partially maybe to try and get to the point that much quicker and force them back instead of allowing them to cap for free. Kai almost finding the shot on the support once again. The shield does come through and saves Belgium's backline for a second longer, and now Chaba switching onto the Lucio. There's a lot of rush switches that are coming through from Belgium, and Bunny Astro now taking down
they're gonna
Logic.
cap first. I think they're gonna cap first,
once
definitely
again
here.
Sent back to spawn. Great Britain, they're making this a lot easier for themselves by neutralizing that DPS player, and now they're able to capture a first checkpoint.
And this is exactly what Great Britain need to do. They need to just let Kai pound, let him win out that Widow duel. You know, losing W Maimon there early doesn't really matter all that much because his only job was to try and pressure out Logix.
That's his name.
But without Logix alive, then, you know, job well done. You know, gave your life for it. It's still good. They play slow enough to build up to the nano, just send Jkaru in to mop up the damage, and the follow-up is there. They've capped point A, which is already so much for 1 minute. If they're able to cap point B, that might be an insurmountable task for Belgium to try and match here.
Come on, bro. Belgium's gonna need a fucking stop here.
They want it. It's got to be up to Shiro with this gravitic flux to try and negate that, try and slow something down, find pay dirt with this ultimate. Kai has the sights up. Belgium,
the card started going down a little bit. Someone wants C9.
Who's gonna make the first move here?
And that amp matrix is also up, and after they're able to get that through, it's going to be up to 10 to find the damage. The immortality field comes through as the primal rage is popped by JK Aru, trying to pound on the backline, able to find both of the supports. Now the sustain simply isn't there for Shira, being completely shredded by W Maimon, and there's the Genji once again. The final pick onto Logix, and the overtime continues into the second point.
Yeah, W Maimon trades his life early on in the fight and takes at least 3 of them there in exchange towards the end of that fight, and now has a Dragon Blade. It will be a Naked Blade unless Backbone is able to build up to that nano boost quite swiftly. But there's also that window where Chaba's gonna have the Transcendence here. Regardless of how that interaction plays out, this is already so much cart progress for Great Britain.
Jay,
and Belgium are going to have to match all of this and then some on their attack. They have to try and stop this train before it goes off the tracks here.
Yeah, Kai taking control of the high ground needs to be a little bit careful
that's a good
about
dragon.
being flanked by this Tracer, but the Dragon Strike does quite a bit of zoning. They just take out that sound barrier as well as the Dragon Blade. They're trying to get so much value here.
Nice moves!
Where you W Maimon able to get back up onto the platform, but they were able to take so much damage from the Dragon Strike because of that sound barrier from Funny Astro. But now Funny Astro going down to Chaba's Discord orbs, and Logix as well finding Backbone. This might be the end of the overtime.
That was a
too far away
good fucking
touch,
push,
but
bro.
this
That was a good
60
push.
meters in, a lot further than they would have initially hoped with only 1 minute.
That is a good push by Great Britain, though.
So much. I don't even want to think about what Belgium has to do in order to try and match that. You know, they had the favorable time bank, but throw that out the window, because as much as Great Britain did with a minute, that's like an astronomical task to try and do with a minute 46. That extra 46 seconds pretty much means nothing at this point. It's gonna be an OT push no matter what. And if Kai keeps winning out the Widow duels with Logix, not allowing Logix to control the sight lines, use the defender's advantage, and control the angles, then
yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. I think this is a GG for Belgium. See the
Widow mirror coming out from both of these teams again, and it's gonna be Kai that has the advantage of positioning. It's going to be up to Belgium to try and shut Kai down somehow, but they just haven't really done that. And meanwhile, you can see how effective Great Britain has been in shutting down Logix. If it's not Kai hitting a headshot, it's J3 with a nano boost or WMA Moan with the swift strikes, just dashing through, mopping up the back line, putting the pressure on. And once again, we're going to see Great Britain.
I actually want Belgium to win this map so we can go to a map 3. I'm cheering on for all map 3s,
time
bro.
Off the time bank and get us into that OT situation as early as possible. No compositional swaps up here from Belgium. We have to be looking at Logix and indeed Ken to try and make magic once again. Ken lightning strike twice. Ken, it's up to you, bud.
Oh, Logic's not even going for the Widowmaker early, looking really to harass Widow on that high ground that Kai is holding. And once again, they are looking to get control of this room very early, and they do so. Great Britain not going to make the same mistake twice and have their tank fall early to that engagement. Instead, going to back up onto the second bridge and hold from there, holding closer to Kai as well.
Come on,
so
Belgium. You guys beat them in map time limit the first time. You guys can do this.
There's no flank routes here on first point of Circuit Royale, right? So Logic's gonna have a hard time trying to get to Kai, and is at some point going to have to face check him. If Kai hits the shot, it's just done and dusted here. Logix is trying to look for a way in, but you can see Kai wants to take the high ground, not gonna even give Logix the chance here. Take this favorable ground that everybody has to try and respect, and you can see how far back Belgium is forced to play right now, and Logix is down.
Oh, come on, Logix. That's not good. Okay, 40 seconds left, man.
To take down Logix, trying to harass the supports out of the fight, and it didn't work, and there's just no follow-up, which allows JKR going for a huge dive.
That's bad, bro.
Oh,
losing the first fight means the other team's gonna have more ult charge, bro. I mean, Belgium does have window. But Great Britain has Blade.
They doing to him?
They have Blade Nano already. They have Blade Nano for the last fight.
Matrix, that's going to be your only ultimate that you have.
The
last person to spawn.
You lost.
Is anyone going to be able to touch? Logix is going to have to try and get the touch, but again, there's no real flank routes. He's going to have to face check everybody and go right into the point here. Ken's not going to be there for backup. It doesn't even look like there's going to be a touch. Logic's going to use both his blinks to try and get out of the point here, but the Dragon Blade comes out. What does Belgium even do about this?
Yeah, the Dragon Blade is just so oppressive to Belgium's squad. Their back line is almost gone. And Matrix, even though it comes through, what is Pondanova going to do to touch? That stagger was pretty much the nail in the coffin.